Hi guys, welcome to DOWELL'S Homestead. I'm going to show you how I plant my seeds. These are just to get them started. And I fill my planters, my little pots, with peat moss. And I thumb pack them down like this, just lightly thumb pack them down so that there's connection between the soil, and we're going to bottom water. I don't top water because it dislodges the seeds and messes them up, and it's just a nightmare. You thumb pack it down, you add a little more peat moss just to fill it up, and my peat moss is pre-moistened. That's important to have it pre-moistened because it's really hard to wet peat moss. I don't know if you've ever tried it or not, but you think it's wet and take your finger and scrape it, and it's dry as a bone underneath. So I'm going to start with some straight 8 cucumbers, and what I do is I just place one in, push it down, and cover it up. Real simple. I usually plant these in the ground, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And just tap them in lightly, and you want to have a marker for what you've planted, and in this case I've put straight 8 cucumbers on the marker, and I put the date on the back side. I stick that in so I know that's what it is. This is going to be Boston pickling cucumbers because it helps with the germination, or the fertilization of the flowers if you have 2 different kinds. And these are some old cilantro seeds which I don't have much hope for. Oh, by the way, I use a garden marker. It's much better than a Sharpie. Sharpies have a tendency to fade out. These don't. It's a garden marker. You can find them at your local garden store. But let's get some of these cilantro seeds in there. I'm going to overseed it because they're old seeds, and I kind of doubt if they have any punch left in them. And these, I'm just going to scratch them in with the marker, and that's another way of doing it other than sticking your finger in and getting dirt in your fingernails. Just scratch them down in there. Just get them down in there good. Pretty simple. Spread them out as you go. Alright. These are python snake beans, which are really huge, and they have to be in pretty deep. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in. It doesn't really matter when you're putting them in starter trays like this how deep you go, because it's not that deep to start with. The only thing is, like, if they have to have light, you definitely don't want to bury them if they have to have light to germinate. This is the red noodle beans, which I absolutely love. They have a buttery, real super buttery flavor. They're really delicious. And they're really easy to spot because they're purple or red. So you don't miss them when you're picking them. You can actually see them. These are a few bush beans. And I just press them in with my finger or my thumb, cover them up, make sure they have good soil contact. This is Black Beauty zucchini. Now these I usually plant straight in the ground, and if you have trouble with vine borers, they say you can plant the seeds with cigarette ashes. It sounds kind of bizarre, but it's true. and it keeps the vine borers off your vines, which is nice. And then when you're done, you just go ahead and fill your tray about 1/4 of the way full. And after 30 minutes, if it's soaked it all up, you're good to go. If it hasn't, add more until it soaks it up. And that's pretty much it. It's simple. I use peat moss, straight peat moss. They don't need fertilizer or anything at this stage. They get all their vitamins from the seed itself. So you don't have to fertilize until they start getting their true leaves. And then you might add a little fish emulsion, which is basically nitrogen. And they like that. And it greens them up real good and gets them off to a good start. And that's it. Easy peasy. Thanks for watching.